This week on Summary Sunday, Grand Cathay are back with even more peasants and somehow even more guns. The Mechanicus have arrived to remind us that the flesh is temporary, credit card debt is however forever. And quick verdicts, the Grand Cathay box is a buy if you're building the Grand Cathay, otherwise skip. Grand Cathay Journal is a buy, Mechanicum is a wait unless you're already on the 30k, and Badrukk is a buy and made to order. So let's dive into it. This week on Summary Sunday, Grand Cathay turns up with peasants, guns, and PTSD over those floating weapon platforms nonsense, while the Mechanicum arrive with a logical conclusion to every problem. More guns, more servos, and a heck of a lot more humanitarian war crimes. Also, Kaptin Badrukk is back made to order, and Warhammer Plus is dropping a new animation where Orks, once again, ruin everyone's day. Let's get into it. Pre-orders are out next week and basically split into nice, 3 clean, concise lanes. Lane 1, we've got Warhammer the Old World, the Grand Cathay reinforcements, and their rulebook. Then for the Horus Heresy, we've got some fresh Mechanicum kits, with Myrmidons, Skitarii Pilgrims, and a flying murder frisbee of the Vultarax Stratos-Automata. Now I'll try and say that 3 times fast. Then 40k, we've got our classic Orc piracy of Badrukk Ammo Runts, both made to order until March 9th, 2026, 8 AM GMT. So, Grand Cathay are still in that phase where the old world is trying to process the sentence, yes, the peasants have blunderbusses, and yes, the statues are alive, and yes, ignore the giant cannon, flying. The big box this week is the Defenders of the Great Bastion Army Reinforcement set, and my god, is it stacked. You get 2 Astromancers, 1 on foot, good buddy for your Jade Warriors, and 1 on horseback that you definitely want to be running with your Jade Lancers. They are working on the Yin and Yang elemental winds, which is Old World's way of saying, I'm casting some advanced math at you. And also, yeah, there's a bird-headed familiar, because, why not? Then 30 peasant soldiers, straight off the farm and onto your front line. They can take warbows or long spears. They're not elite, unfortunately, but there is a lot of them. And yes, they are heavily motivated by the idea and concept of not dying. For guns, we've got 8 crane gun teams for long-range sniping behind tower shields and 12 iron hail gunners. Prefer that just close enough to smell the fear, blunderbuss lifestyle that we all love. Just to note, this box is available while stocks last, so it's not in a sleep in it for 3 weeks sort of situation. And if you're keen to kick off your Grand Cathay army, this is all you need in one single box to pick up and play, and I'm definitely rating this one a buy. Then, if you're wondering where the rules are, it's the Arcane Journal, the Breaching of the Great Bastion. And that's where you'll find the rules for the Astromancers, Crane Guns, Iron Hail Gunners, and the Peasant Levy. Plus, lore on the Grand Cathay and rules to play the Battle of Nan Li. Basically, hold the line versus the Chaos Warriors. Everyone's second favourite 300 film. Then, if you're committing to the Grand Cathay, the journal is definitely a buy because it's doing the rules, lore, and scenario in one swell swoop. Then moving on to everyone's favourite man who did definitely nothing wrong, the Horus Heresy. Over in the Age of Darkness, the Mechanicum are getting Myrmidon Destructor hosts, which are basically what if infantry had giant guns for arms, but also a personal hate crime against all organic matter. Each Myrmidon can take an irradiation engine, which is your infantry melter, or a dark fire cannon, which is your armor buster. They've also got shock charges for close combat, because of course they do. Then there's customization, you can go for a bare head or hooded, and the servo skulls swap across the 6 models so you can kit bash at night without crying yourself to sleep. The rules are also in the Journal Tactica, the Skitarii, the Steel Hand of Mars. Next, the Skitarii Battle-Pilgrym Marshal, the guy they send in when the Fabricator General loses something really important and possibly can never be made again. Which honestly is relatable, except every time I lose something, I don't deploy a cyborg militia to retrieve it. Then you've got sidearm options of a Voltarch hand cannon or an Architect pistol. Melee options, you've got your Autocrit Scepter, Phase Claw, or Corpusant Stave. And 3 head options, if you run multiple Marshals, they won't look like a copy-paste job. The Marshals also bring friends, the Skitarii Battle-Pilgrym Corpus. It's 16 models armed with Voltlock arquebuses. They can run through them as one big unit, or 2 units of 8, each with an Ordinator leader. They also fit inside a Terror's armored conveyor, so you can actually deliver them where they need to be, aka 2 objectives with a good amount of loot in them. And for air support, you've got the Vultarax Stratos-Automata, a floating weapons platform with a very clear mission statement. Suppress the people, bomb the people, missile the people, and then stab anything to death if it's still breathing. Some features with this are arc blasters, airburst for hordes, shape change missiles for tanks, fast flies over terrain, and they get the angles. Games Workshop even says keep away from Mortarion, which feels like fair advice for most things. No allegiance specific markings on this unit just to call out, so you can run Loyalist or Traitor Mechanicum and paint accordingly to your heart's content, as long as the War Master deems it good. Then we've got the Warhammer 40k, the Orc Pirates made to order. 40k side quest, Kaptin Badrukk returns, and yes, the noise he makes is basically wah and a little bit of yar. He's got legend rules, so he can be used as a war boss in the freebooter detachment for the Maelstrom lair of the Tyrant, or just a display piece that radiates, I'm gonna go steal your loot energy and make some loud noises. And yes, he is bringing the guns and ammo runts apparently. Classic little grots that add characters to Gretchens or can vibe near the knobs or flash kits. Both are made to order until March 9th until 8 AM GMT, so if you want them, do it now or you'll regret it later. Then for Warhammer Plus, we've got a new animation that begins, which is Penitence. It follows Adeptus Battle Sisters delivering a holy relic, which sounds simple until you remember everyone's favourite green men exist, Orks. Also on Warhammer Plus, we've got Brain Boys coming back, which is everyone's favourite quiz show. The Black Library Book Club is covering Bad Loon Rising, and Open Play has the Titan Owners Club doing an absolutely great game of Adeptus to Mechanicus rules at a 40k scale. And more than a dozen Titans aside, that's not a battle report, that is definitely a public safety announcement. And they're also teasing a week of content too, a closer look at the 40k characters for the Tau Empire, Leagues of Votann and Tyranids, plus a chance to win 2 combat patrols and coverage of this year's Relics licensing festival. So yeah, if your wallet was hoping for a quiet week, I'm very sorry to tell them. And then let's talk about the quick fire rapid energy of Is It Worth It? Grand Carthy reinforcement, buy unless you're not building Grand Carthy right now because it's while stocks last and it is fully loaded. Arcane Journal is a buy if you're playing the Grand Carthy. Rules, lore, scenarios, what else could you really want here? Mechanicum kits, buy if you're already invested in the 30k Mechanicum, otherwise wait because this is the kind of range that needs a second mortgage. Then Badrukk Ammo Runts, buy if you love a classic orc. Freebooter vibes, made to order window is the whole point of this year. And that's your summary Sunday. Tell me in the comments, are you going Carthy, going full toast with the Mechanicum, or are you going to stick strictly to Orc Piracy? Like, sub, and I'll see you next week unless your painting backlog finally catches you.